Wow, that was some great information right there. We're gonna. I know real estate is gonna be able to take us to the next level. I'm in real estate right now, so if anybody needs a real estate agent or anybody needs real estate services, we can help you. Okay. So with that being said, we have some more speakers coming up. The next speaker we actually got coming up right now is actually Jerome Dancy. Jerome Dancy is a Brooklyn detective with 24 years of experience in the district attorney's office, currently serving on the executive protection board. He's also a licensed financial professional and a life insurance agent with World Financial Group, where he teaches financial literacy and leads an independent agency with agents nationwide. A graduate of Hofstra University with a degree in social science and Bishop Long High School, Jerome is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and a Mason. So with that being said, let's all clap it up for Jerome.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good to see all these faces in here. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. So as David said, I am Jerome Dancy. Everyone calls me Rome. I've been a detective, like you said, going on 24 years in the Brooklyn DA's office, and 2 years prior to that I was with NYPD. I've been an avid entrepreneur. So at that time, early days on as a detective, young detective, I was also a real estate agent. I was also an independent home contractor. So some of my friends would reach out to me, hey, Rome, listen, I'm good at doing all these things with your hands and stuff. Listen, my kid just put a hole in the wall. Can you put the sheetrock up? And so yeah, I was the guy that would call out last minute to repair that wall. And then I was also in music. So I was managing 2 artists. And I was doing that all at the exact same time. So literally going from downtown Brooklyn at the DA's office, shooting across to my real estate office in Cypress Hills, then shooting up to Harlem, where my artists where my 2 artists were at in the studio. So with that said, I was looking for an opportunity, and that opportunity landed at my doorstep in 2020 during COVID.
No, we need for the
okay.
that like
Not that. The one in the back.
Can you guys still see?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Is that good?
No.
Yeah, they see. He talks very well.
As you can see over here, this is a display called How Money Works. So How Money Works is part of our company as well. This is where we teach financial literacy, and we have simple components as we talk about it. So when we talk about it, we just don't just say, hey, we can help you financially. We actually do something about it. So these books are flagship one, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. As you see there, think like a sucker.
No.
The wealthy. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. That was a quote from Ben Franklin. Next slide. So the word sucker is a strong word, but yes, not knowing how money works, what? Sucks. So why are we here? Because we want to talk about financial literacy and learn about different ways how we can change the game. So next slide. So a recent study, financial literacy, found that only 30% of people in the world are only financially literate. So when it comes to that, we break down these numbers. 44% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency. 43% of student loan borrowers are not making any payments. And what just happened? Biden can't get rid of the other ones, so people are stuck with those payments. Then the average debt that people are holding on their credit card is $9,333. Now, if you're in a room and you have credit card debt and it's around that number or more, raise your hand.
Yay.
Exactly. But guess what? It's not a bad thing. Because listen, debt, you can utilize debt to work to your advantage because you also grow your credit score and stuff like that. And we have some people here who are going to show you how to get that done. And then 33% of Americans have 0 retirement savings. Now, if people don't have retirement savings, what are they going to do when they reach retirement? Work.
Hello, can I take your water?
Or if they're either going to be an Uber driver. Or, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can make good money. But next slide. So, 28 out of 50 states require high school students to take a personal finance course to graduate. I'm not sure if we had that in New York. I know when I grew up, we didn't have that, and I went to Bishop Lockwood. So we got to make sure that, hey, we teach our children from early on, because this book here is written in 5th grade reading level. So small child to an older adult can understand it, because it also has pictures and diagrams. Next slide. So, the sucker cycle. What is the sucker cycle? So, you get your paycheck, right? What do you do with your paycheck? You want to go eat, because you got to feed yourself. You need nutrition, right? But then after that, hey, you want to look nice. You want to buy some nice clothes. You want to look fresh to death. Then, what happens next? Oh, you got a car. So, if you have a car, you got to have what? Car insurance. If you bought the car and you financed it or leased it, you're paying that. Then, you want to go out to date. You want to go on a nice dinner date. Yes. Now, we're in New York City. We know how much it costs to go out. There you go. Now, for the players that are watching on Zoom and stuff like that, listen, if you date multiple women, hey, guess what? I'm joking. Listen. But listen, let's break down these numbers here. You're going out, cost average $181, but we know it costs more. Rideshare services, Uber, Lyft, $83 a month. Subscriptions, $237 a month. Lottery tickets, how many people play lotto? $1 to dream? $2. So we talk about no generation is saving enough. So Social Security, 40%, the amount of retirement income designed to cover. And then you have your 401k. Now, if you have your 401k, the average amount for someone from 60 to 69, they have about $195,000. Now, it could be more, it could be less, depending on who you are, what you do. And then your personal savings. Are you on track for your retirement? So, retirement savings by generation. Millennials, they have about $23,000 saved up right about now. Gen X, I'm Gen X, $66,000. And then you have your baby boomers, $152,000. Now, you could be Gen X, you could have a lot more, or you can have less. Baby boomers can have more, or you can have less. It does not matter where you're at, it's where you can get to. Because when you surround yourself with the right people, as we talked about Mastermind, you're surrounding yourself with the people who can get you there. So you don't do this by yourself, but you have a whole group of people with you. Next slide. So, will your savings run out of retirement?
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying it right there. So you got to figure out where you're at. So next slide. And will you have reliable income when it comes down to for your retirement days? Next slide. So the power of compounding interest. This is it, because this is operating around you every single day. Next slide. So you have your simple interest versus compound interest. Simple interest, you only receive interest on your original principal amount every single year, or you have compound interest. Every year you receive interest on both original amount of your principal and all interest accrued. Next slide. So we got to figure out which one you want to be in. Here's the simple interest. Next slide. And your compound interest. Now, for the two slides, which one do you like a little bit more? Simple or compound? Compound. There we go. Next slide. So look at the following growth curves. Next slide. So it's showing you how you put your money away. So if you start early, the earlier the better. Why? Because you get to reap all the benefits and all the gains. So you're starting at age 26 and you're getting 9% annual rate of return. This is your number up here. $1 million by the age of 68. If you're here, 31. It's a little less. Why? Because you're starting later. But if you're starting later, that means you got to put in a little bit more to catch up. Next slide. So time value of money. These follow 3 action steps because time is precious. Start. Next slide. And we go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide because we have limited time. So this one here, right here, we call $1 Million Baby. $1 Million Baby, I love this concept right here because what the $1 Million Baby is, it's about taking from when a child is 14 days old, you can actually get a life insurance policy for that child. And you can design it for them and they will have it through life. Now, There are other companies that are out there that offer grow plans, which are good. We actually offer the same product as well, but we have multiple products because through our company that I'm with, we're non-captive, so we can shop around to different carriers and get the best rate, right? And when we talk about the $1 Million Baby, it's about putting money away into a cash value policy, and that policy will grow over time. Next slide. So you have your longevity, you have your medical bills, and you have long-term care. And within that type of policy as well, you have long-term care as a rider that you can get. So if you become ill or not able to do 2 of the 6 daily living functions, you can tap into that type of policy, which is your long-term care. Next slide. Let's go to Rule of 72. So Rule of 72, how many people have heard of Rule of 72 before? Good, great. So Rule of 72, take 72 divided by the interest rate, it's gonna calculate how long it's take time for your money to double. Next slide. So if you were, let's just say you had $10,000 and you were getting 1%, how many of you want to wait 72 years for that money to double? Okay, so boom, so now you got 3%. There's some banks that are giving you 3%, some accounts that are giving you 3%. Great, you're getting some money. Then there's accounts that are giving you 6%, 9 and 12%. Now, if you were able to get some accounts that were giving you 6 to 9 to 12 to 15%, would you be interested in that? Yeah. Exactly. So this is what we're able to do. We're able to talk, we can talk about it, and then we can be about it and show you. Next slide. So again, next slide. And the next slide. So 7 money milestones. And we're gonna go quick through this. So, next slide. So, the 7 money milestones, your roadmap to financial security and independence, right? So, number 1 is financial education. And as we look at this mountain right here, I want everybody to take your right hand, hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. I want everybody, proud participation, and you have a flag in your hand. So, now as we talk about financial education, I want you to slam it down right now, boom. Because now you're at the base of this mountain. So as we talk about financial education, become financially independent and find ways to become successful and work with a financial professional. Then, number 2, so we talk about proper protection. There are term policies, there are whole life policies. Then there's also more permanent policies that are out there. Now those permanent policies allows you to capture those gains that we talked about with the compounding interest. Now, that's the proper protection, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're properly protected in the things that you do when you have a life, in your life. So if you have a house, there's something called mortgage protection you want to kind of have, which basically is having a term policy, right? Because if something happens to you within those 30 years or 20 years or whatever, guess what? If you're the breadwinner, you are now able to leave something to your beneficiaries. So beneficiary, if you pass away, the beneficiary will be able to pay off the house. And that's just one aspect of it. And then, so we've now went to number 2. Take your flag again, slam it down, because now we're going up that mountain. Number 3, emergency fund. Remember we talked about emergency, people don't have $400. That's a problem. But guess what? We're here to help in different ways, because we have some people in the room that can talk to you about credit and tax strategies and stuff like that. It's all very important, because when you start saving, because key part here, you want to save at least 3 to 6 months money saved up just in case something happens. Then, also you want to prepare for unexpected expenses, because we all have something that's going to happen, right? So that was number 3. Take your flag, plan it down. We're moving up that mountain, right here, right here, right here. So number 4, debt management. Change your spending habits. Solve to eliminate debt. So as you eliminate your debt, guess what? You got your flag again. What are we doing? Slamming it down. And we're climbing up that mountain. Number 5, cash flow. Earn additional income. So if you already have a regular job, okay. Hey, granted, you just got to start working on your saving habits. But if we're entrepreneurs, what are we doing? We're creating multiple streams of income. That's why we're here as well. Because as we create multiple streams of income, you get to change your cash. You also get to manage your expenses and live the life that you want, not live the life that you're just given to. That's not what you want to be able to do. Then, we're at number 5. Take your flag, take your flag, take your flag. What? Slam it down. Go ahead, because you're climbing up that mountain. Number 6, build wealth. So as we build wealth, you want to be able to do the things that you want. So You want to buy the car, you want to buy the house, all these different things, and you also want to outpace inflation, right? Because as you're doing this, you're moving up that mountain, you're living the life that you actually want, and then you get to accumulate your money over time, and as you're building wealth, you just live a life. You're smiling, you're happy every day. So, number 6, you got your flag, right? What are you doing with it? Slamming it down, moving up that mountain. And as we get to number 7, you protect wealth. How are we protecting wealth? Now, we all know about Prince, we all know about Aretha Franklin. Why? They were artists, right? Well, what happened to them? They passed away.
Trust.
Exactly, they did not have a trust. So when they did not have a trust, that means probate. And probate is not a nice thing. I got to experience probate at a very early age because my dad, him and his uncle, him and his brother, they bought brownstones early on in the 80s. When my father passed away in 2001, how many properties do you think I received?
0.
Exactly. I got medical debt that I had to pay because they were like, yo, yeah, this is you. You got to pay. What? And then when it comes to probate, I have a half brother. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, folks, if you're watching, I have a half brother. But so, and I'm the oldest one. When we went down to, I'm going through my father's stuff, and I come across some money that he had in an account. So, a dime savings bank, that was downtown Brooklyn. I go down to the bank, and I'm walking in, I'm 21 years old. Hey, yeah, this is my dad, he passed away. So, can I get this money that's in that account? The bank manager goes, young man, do you know anything about what a beneficiary is? I'm like, no. He goes, so your name is Jerome, right? Yeah. That's not the name that's on this thing. Huh? Yeah, it was my uncle. My uncle was a beneficiary. We talked about protect wealth. My father should have transferred our names to that account, but never did. So the money that was there, I was like, okay, we can't get it. Then I found some more money. Go back to the other person. And they go, yeah, so it's you and your brother. So you got to go get a probate attorney. Wow. Huh? Yeah. It's going to cost such and such to get this money. What? Yeah. And bickering back and forth between family members. You know what? I'm good. I'm not signing nothing. Ain't nobody getting anything.
Except for probate attorney.
Yeah. Because I said, listen, I'm not going to do nothing on this. But we talk about protecting wealth. So we have wills and trusts that we are actually able to set up through our company as well. So we have that. Next slide. And then your financial education. As we went through everything, I just kind of went through it quickly. So with that said, folks, I love doing this because I get to talk to my community. I grew up here in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Bed-Stuy?
That's right, 400 Herpin Street. That's what it is, right? But being a part of this company has changed my life because I spent 24 years, and I'm still currently there, as a crime fighter, bringing justice to families, to victims throughout New York City. I've done right. Not like some other people out there who want to, do certain things to individuals. I treat everybody as a human being. I'm about bringing justice. And then through this company where I'm at now, I'm about bringing financial justice. Because if I can change your life for the better, that's what I'm here to do. So if I can help change your life if generations come to pass, that's what we're going to do. And through these books here, How Money Works. And it was crazy because what David talked about, he started with that video. I didn't even know he was going to show the video about Napoleon Hill. Here's this book right here. I didn't even know he was going to do it, but I have this book right here, Think and Go Rich. If you don't have that book, please get the book and read it, because it's going to also help you along the process. Also, I'm also going to give you guys a free ebook that you can drop back to David and take it in.
So let's give it up for